The Seattle Seahawks are leading the NFC West after they beat their division rival, the Arizona Cardinals, in Week 12. They now get to fly east to take on the New York dysfunctional Jets here in Week 13. My name is Tyler, here with my brother Ryan, and we're going to break down this matchup here between the Seahawks and the Jets. But before I do that, if you haven't already, hit that subscribe button, leave a like and a comment. Let us know who you think will win this game and why. We're trying to get to 6,000 subscribers by the end of the year, and any help is greatly appreciated. Ryan, solid win from Seattle here in a defensive game. Not going to lie, wasn't thinking that it would be a defensive game. Seahawks defense has been getting healthier, yes, but still had some vulnerabilities I think Arizona could kind of exploit. And at the same time, though, too, Arizona Cardinals defense isn't particularly that great, and yet they only held the Seahawks to one offensive touchdown. And so they had a pick six as well. That is also good to get. And so they're going to be going up against the Jets team, who is just, as I made the joke in the beginning, completely dysfunctional right now. What are they doing? And so a lot of very curious things are going to happen. I feel this offseason, where's Aaron Rodgers going to go? Devontae Adams is probably going to be requesting a trade like how he did going from Vegas now to New York here. So at least Vegas, there's no state income tax. I'm pretty sure at least. And there's casinos and gambling, so that's at least more fun. But I'm biased, maybe. So, but I want to throw it over to you though, and let's talk about the Jets here. I think first, what do you think the Jets are going to do this offseason?
Aaron Rodgers probably retires. I could not imagine a less desirable head coaching job than one where you're going to come into a 42-year-old disgruntled quarterback who appears to be completely washed. And it's just not like he's going to make all these demands and then he's not going to back it up. Like I wouldn't want to do that. Granted, if you're going to pay me millions of dollars, it's a different conversation.
I really want him to take the Brett Favre route and then go to Minnesota. Like that.
Go to Minnesota. I mean, I don't think that makes sense for Minnesota with JJ McCarthy just being drafted, but that's a conversation for a different day. But I just really think like it's time to move on for Aaron Rodgers. It's time to move on to something other than football. Like he can go to retirement home, make his weekly Pat McAfee appearances, like and go do that. But it's just I think football has passed him by, and it's time to go do something else. I think they probably release Devontae Adams, or if not trade him to somebody who would be willing to take on that unfavorable contract. But it looks like they're just going to have to eat a bunch of dead cap money and then just totally start over. So. That to me is probably where this goes. You get a new head coach, you go get a new GM, not in that order, obviously, but like you go make these moves and then you just start this rebuild process over. And honestly, the biggest thing is from what I've heard from being a Patriots fan, from Bill Belichick, and then just other people around the Jets organization, this dysfunction starts at the ownership level and needs to be changed if anything is really going to change with this Jets organization.
Well, and that's one thing, to be fair to Rodgers, to be fair to Adams, to be fair to the defensive play for this Jets team, this all started to go downhill when they fired Saleh. That I think was the big shock to the – because it's not like I think a lot of guys liked Saleh. I think a lot of guys wanted to play for Saleh. The one good thing about this team was the defense.
Well, yeah, and I would say I would use the word downhill loosely because to go downhill, you have to get to the top of the hill. And they have been a perennial bad team.
They were at least plateauing. So they were at least plateauing. Yeah. So maybe they did reach the top of the hill. But it's like, even if you go look at, like here, let's back up here. So, like, they flew to Minnesota. They flew to London, play Minnesota, and on the way back, that's when he got fired. And then they barely lost to Buffalo. They were leading at Pittsburgh, but then they all of a sudden give a bunch of points. Lost to your New England Patriots game as well. I feel like if Saleh was in the room, there was still that level of continuity, and then like you trade for Adams earlier, you maybe bring him in, have more time with Rodgers as well, because we have seen some success. I think that's where a lot of the downfall of this team went. And then another thing, too, and I think Seahawks fans can absolutely relate to this as well, is on top of that as well, their offensive line has been, like, poor. It's been better than last year. I guess, but still not good at all. And they've started to get some
Oh,
injuries as well.
it's been
And
one of the worst
I,
in the league.
I don't really care who you are in the backfield, though, the quarterback or running back. That like if you don't have an offensive line, it's tough to be successful in the NFL. Also, and so like they've been dealing with some injuries throughout Elijah Vera Tucker's career, which has been unfortunate because he's a really good offensive lineman. Tyrone Smith got hurt as well, and I'm trying to remember exactly if he's had missed some time. Correct me if I'm wrong on that, but if you just go look at where their stats are offensively, like there's no reason why this team with Brees Hall in the backfield, then you add Braylon Allen, and like this should be a great 1-2 punch. Are they only averaging 87.18 yards per game as well, rushing?
Yeah.
So yeah,
Which
Rodgers
is bottom
hasn't played
5 in
well.
the league.
Huh?
Which is bottom 5 in the league.
Bottom 3 in the league. Yeah, when it
Bottom
comes
3,
to rushing,
Yeah.
the rushing yards per game. So yeah, not defending Rodgers. He's played poor. Everybody's played poor. Defense has started to play poor, but so coming full circle to your point, if it starts at ownership, like I can see that because it's like the owner is the one that fired him. You got to then make the right investments into the team as well to get the offensive line, get that culture going as well. And there's a reason why they haven't made the playoffs since 2010. It's pretty consistently they're just poor, and they've been struggling to find a franchise quarterback. Zach Wilson came in and it wasn't a favorable situation because of similar problems that they have going on right now. Zach Wilson's not a good quarterback either, but it takes more than just one guy to come in and then like totally fix a franchise. There's a full team of people that need to come in, and they just haven't been able to hit it at all during this time. And as I said, and this we're kind of going over to Seattle coming in, and they've been getting healthier on the defensive line side of the ball. They've been a little bit healthier on the offensive line side of the ball as well, playing a little bit better in both those areas. And we've started to see them win. They beat the 49ers for the first time in a couple of years, go and now beat Arizona Cardinals and stop a good Arizona Cardinals offense to just 6 points. And it's like they're winning in the trenches these past couple of weeks. And I think that's what's going to be the difference in this game is weirdly saying this enough for the Seahawks fans, and correct me if I'm wrong, but you guys are going to win in the trenches. I think that's not normally something that happens for you guys, especially when you all do win. You all have great skill position players on the outside. It's going to be tough, I think, to guard DK Metcalf, Jackson Smith-Njigba, and Tyler Lockett, and then you still have Kenneth Walker and Zach Charbonnet. Once again, another example as well to like how important an offensive line is. That running back duo shouldn't be 28th in the league in rushing yards per game, or its team as a whole. But because Seahawks are only averaging 89 rushing yards a game as well, so they're gonna have a tough time against Quinnen Williams in a Jets defensive front to run the ball. But that being said, though, I still think that the Seahawks are in general going to win in trenches overall in this matchup here.
No, I agree. The only one that really threatens me a lot is Quinnen Williams on the Jets, and just that interior. He can really be a game wrecker on that interior. Take it from a Patriots fan. He can take over games, and I do agree with you. I do think they're going to win in the trenches. Especially, I think you look this pass rush. I think that Mike McDonald has kind of installed here in Seattle. It's really started to take shape over the last few weeks, and I feel like they've really been able to start to get after passers. That defensive line as a whole has just really come a long way from the beginning of the year. And I think that's going to be really tough for this Jets team that's just so banged up to go out and potentially make a difference. So,
and that's been the issue with Seattle as well. Is they were banged up earlier on in the year as well, and so they're starting to get healthier at the right time. And the Jets are just as dysfunctional now as they were with Aaron Rodgers coming into the season. So actually, no, I take that back. They're more dysfunctional now because you're no head coach, no GM. You're going in a whole new, totally different direction. And so it's kind of weird. It's got to be a weird feeling knowing in the final 6 weeks of the season, you're like so many question marks coming in to this game.
And that to me, like why the Saleh firing was so odd was it felt like he was really the only person in that room that I get he's the head coach and he's the first one to be blamed for decisions that the team makes on the field. But I don't feel like he had really done a bad job. It just they had just gotten unlucky in a few key scenarios, and this defense was still playing really well. They just could never put the pieces together on offense, and he's the one that did it. But now, like, kind of again, this video is coming full circle. The pieces are just falling apart all over the place now with Jeff Albrecht and whatnot. So,
well, and you have a lot of guys here who business decisions I think are going to be made. You know, like DJ Reed is a free agent, Javon Kinlaw's a free agent, Chuck Clark, Jalen Mills, Connor McGovern, Morgan Moses, Tyler Conklin. You know, a lot of guys who are playing some serious minutes are going into contract years. You know, and so not saying those guys are going to slack off, but I think business decisions are also going to be made as well.
Well, yeah, when you're down 3 scores in the fourth, and you know, Kenneth Walker is steaming down at you for the 25th time. It's all right. Well,
yeah,
I'm going to get walled off by a guard here. Yeah, I'm going with Seattle too.
That's Seattle in this game.
Yeah. The Jets, like you said, the New York dysfunctional Jets, I think is a really good way to describe them. Let's go ahead. Let's just wrap this one up here. If you guys have not already, please go ahead and like and subscribe. It is the best way to help out the channel. While you're down there, go ahead and leave a comment on who you think is going to come out ahead. Will it be the Seattle Seahawks? Will it be the New York Jets? And that we'll see you guys next time.